Hello, right, we are doing another in the series, the never-ending series. Don't it bloody go on, the never-ending series of my thoughts, and this one is from Paul Rowe. Paul says, Bri, what's your thoughts on what is your current view on the best techniques of entering higher states of consciousness? He did say at the moment he's reading a novel by David Hawkins, I believe. Okay, so my current view on... Well, my current view is the same as I always have. The best techniques is meditation. It's as simple as that. The deeper you go into meditation, the more likely you are to reach a higher state of consciousness, which is your neocortex in the brain. It's worth doing, if you don't know about that, it's worth reading up or doing a little bit of study on the neocortex, really, because we now know about plasticity within the brain. We know that the adult brain can still grow and mature, and it can create new neurons, even though we're adults. We never used to think that was the case a number of years back. But through the neocortex, through understanding and studying that, we do know more about the plasticity of the brain, so the growth of the brain as adults. Now, the higher states of consciousness are only attainable, I believe, through meditation. I don't know if there's another way. I don't think there is. I'm sure there isn't really. How the brain works, essentially the brain works on two levels, and that's we call it the lower level and the higher level. The lower level is now here, sat here. My brain is saying, have a swig of your Slurpee, Bri. You know, the lower states you know, whatever, driving a car, going for a walk, going to work, you know, having an ordinary conversation with somebody, making this video, I'm using my lower state, if you like. The higher states of consciousness are obviously over and above that. When you get to a place where you don't really think, or you hardly think, or you certainly, when the thoughts come in, you can just dismiss them. Just dismiss them. You know, thoughts will always come into your mind. People say they don't, but that's rubbish, you know. We live in a very noisy world, but a noisy world on an internal level as well, because your thoughts come to you as the sound of your voice. They're not just nothingness, they are a sound. So to operate on a higher conscious level, within the neocortex, you know, to operate on that is to get to a stage where any and every thought that comes in doesn't really reach you. It comes towards you and you just allow it just to fade away. I'll deal with that later. I don't need it, because you've stepped up higher than that. So you're no longer kind of yourself. You're no longer yourself on the level of I'll have a swig of my Slurpee, I'll drive a car, I'll walk, I'll sit upright. You're no longer using that lower part of your brain, of yourself. You've switched gears and you've gone up a level. What I can tell you about higher consciousness is it is actually fleeting, to be honest. I don't know of anybody really that would get to a stage of higher consciousness and remain there. I do know some gurus have said they've been there for a number of days. I don't really believe that, to be quite honest with you, because the humanness of us will always come through. You were born, you are alive, you will die. So all of that stage will always be there. That aliveness contains what? Heartbeats, breath, thoughts, whatever it contains. So even if you do manage to reach a higher level, you will come back down to these thoughts and all the rest of it, you know. So I don't believe that you actually remain up to a higher consciousness level. I believe you can reach that. And I have at times, but at times only, how I've reached it is through meditation, but it's through very, very deep meditation and prolonged meditation. I don't meditate every single day. I used to. Now I don't meditate every single day because I don't feel the need for it. I meditate as a form of healing. I meditate when my day's been a little bit stressful and stuff like that. I just need to close the day down and close myself down. And because I've been meditating 21, 31, 41, 51, 35 years, bloody hell. Because I've been meditating for a long time, I find meditation very, very easy. And I find that I can begin my meditation, how I do it, with 3 deep breaths. I sigh my breath away. By the time I get to my 3rd, I'm in a meditation state. From there, I can only go deeper and deeper and deeper. And when I've gone to such a prolonged, you know, go back, when I've been in a place where I've needed to meditate every single day for, say, 10 or 20 days, I find that my meditation sessions get longer and longer and longer. Without me thinking about it, they just go from, 15 or 20 minutes. Suddenly I'm meditating for well over an hour, sometimes up to 2 hours. The most I've ever sat still and meditated for is getting on for 3 hours. During that time, I think because your brain has nowhere else to go, you've done everything you need to do within your mind, within your psyche, if you like, that the neocortex kind of becomes on fire. That leads you on a path of higher consciousness. You can't go anywhere else but up a level. But again, it's fleeting. How long did I remain in that level? I don't know. It's I've been there loads of times to the higher sort of levels, the higher realms of consciousness, definitely. And it's a funny place to be because you end up not seeing life how you see life today. You know, my brain at the moment, right now, is preparing for attack. It's the fight or flight thing. If suddenly there's a great big bang in the kitchen, where gas explodes your cooker or whatever, I am poised, don't look like it, but I'm poised, ready to jump out my window. That's where my brain is. That's on the lower level. My brain is ready to attack back. So if somebody hits me, I'll punch them back. I'm also ready, if somebody wants to give me a personal attack, to fire some abuse at them. I'm ready to, if something suddenly falls, to fend it off. That's all at the lower level. But at the higher level, you've gone past all of that. Every last bit of that. There is no me on that level involved. When you're up at the higher consciousness level, there is no part of my brain that's there to defend or to attack. Doesn't exist. It's a funny place to be because what there is pure love. There is a unique understanding of everything, not just the planet or yourself. It's difficult to describe, and this is where people go, not wrong, but this is where people get confused with meditation, and particularly meditation to higher levels of consciousness. they get confused because those that have reached that level can't really explain it. I'm struggling now to express anything. I've been there loads of times, I will go there loads of times in the rest of my life, but can I tell you? No, I can't. The only thing I can say, Paul, is that you've said, what's my current view on the best techniques of entering higher states of consciousness? My best techniques is prolonged meditation, and that's really all I'm going to say about it, I think, really. If meditation really, isn't your thing, you can reach a certain level. You can reach a certain level by, I keep banging on about the neocortex, right? The neocortex, one of the things with the neocortex is creativity. So when I'm working on a piece of art, there we go. When I'm working on that piece of art, I put my creativity level really deeply into that, really deeply, and that helps. It steps you up towards a level, not to, but towards a level of higher consciousness. Another thing is nature. If you can get away from people and sound and things like that, go and sit on a hill or near a stream or up a mountain on your own and just sit there. You don't have to meditate, just sit, just quietly be. Just feel nature touching you, all around you, within you. And you'll notice that your thoughts will slow down. You'll notice that you're so in awe with your surrounding. And you become nature. We are nature anyway, but you become more nature than you've ever become before. So you don't need these thoughts. So whatever comes towards you, you just bat them away. You have then reached a higher level of consciousness without actually meditating. And the only other way of reaching it is to listen to the silence. We live in a noisy world. I've just said that your thoughts are noisy because they are your voice coming into your head. Right now, there's lots of birds outside. I've got the windows and doors open. My fridge is going mee. My freezer goes mee every now and then. When it's not going mee, it goes. This chair just made noise as I moved. Birds. There's a distant hum somewhere. Mowing. It's a long way away from here, but somebody's mowing their lawn. Now between all of that, there are silences. Just now, started again. There was a split second, a fraction, where the birds went and they started again. That silence, listen to that silence. And even your thoughts, you know, when you get a thought come in, you bat it away. There's a silence, an absolute profound silence within your mind, just for a split second before the next thought comes in. And like I said with nature, if you can sit up a hill or on a mountain or whatever and just sit, eventually there will be these moments of just beautiful, pure silence. And when you listen to the silence takes on a bigger thing than what it actually is. So you listen to more moments of silence than you do listen to the moments of noise and that again can help you forward towards higher states of consciousness. So there's lots that you can do, but I think really ultimately for me, because you've asked my thoughts are meditation is the only way that I can really truly reach higher states of consciousness. That's the only true way for me. May be different for other people, but for me. But like I say, I can touch it, I can get towards it, particularly with the creativity side of things. You know, I do immerse myself very, very deeply into my art. I'll just tell you, just briefly, but I was working on that. I only finished it yesterday. When I was getting towards the end, I was working on a particular piece that was taking a long time. I was listening to an album, a new album by one of my favourite bands, New Model Army, and I downloaded the album and I was listening to that. I'd listened to it, I think, 3 times that day. When it got to the last track of the last time that I listened to it, I continued to work on that in absolute silence. Now, I think I was semi-aware there was no more music, semi-aware, but I was so deeply immersed in creativity, it didn't matter. I didn't need background noise. I wasn't aware of anything. And I honestly believe that for the last hour, about an hour and a quarter, I don't believe I had one single thought in my head. Nothing. Completely empty. That's what I think. And it left me feeling lovely as well. It was a meditation. You know, my art is a meditation to me anyway. I don't know if I've made any sense there, Paul, because I wasn't listening. Take care, mate. Thank you. And I'll be back soon. Cheers. Be well. Ta-ra.